Crawford needs the money.
Crawford needs the money?
Yeah, he needs the money.
You think he had a chance to win?
But what makes you say that?
He needs the money.
Gervonta Tank Davis launched a scathing attack on Terence Bud Crawford, accusing him of being driven by money rather than legacy. Davis dismissed Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez, predicting a one-sided and humiliating defeat for the former undisputed welterweight champion. In addition, Gervonta Davis fired at Terence Crawford, dismissing him as a hater. He took issue with individuals forming opinions without any direct interaction, pointing to Crawford as an example of someone casting judgment despite never having a personal relationship with him.
Guys can all be like friends. Kind of you see it with the hagglers.
Bro, when people, what I got from that is he's a hater. You don't know me as a person. Let's say you don't like me. Like, you don't know me. Like, you feel me? And I don't give a him. If everybody is cool with him, with him.
According to Davis, the driving force behind Crawford's interest isn't legacy or competition, but the lucrative payday that comes with facing one of boxing's biggest stars. Doubling down on his stance, Davis took another jab at Crawford, claiming that financial incentives are the only reason Bud Crawford pursues a fight with Canelo Alvarez.
No. Crawford needs the money.
Crawford needs the money?
Yeah, he needs the money.
You think he had a chance to win?
But what makes you say that?
He needs the money. I'm telling you.
Does he have a chance to win though?
Top Rank ain't paying like that, and they ain't playing like that.
So you don't
see they ain't paying like that.
He's going up three or four weight classes. You think the chances of him?
That's why he say why he don't like me. That's the real shit.
Going up those weight classes to face him, how can you convince fans that he can beat Canelo?
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. He's a good fighter.
Building on his criticism, Crawford responded to Davis's claims by addressing the financial realities of the sport, stating that as professional boxers, earning money is a fundamental part of the game. He made it clear that chasing big paydays is not unusual, but rather a necessary aspect of a fighter's career. Crawford shut down claims that he's chasing Canelo just for the payday, emphasizing that financial rewards come hand in hand with taking on the biggest challenges in the sport.
What's going on with you and Gervonta?
If I'm a boxer, he a boxer, you a boxer, we all need the money.
I ain't doing it for free.
Thank you. I'm just as confused as you. I said, huh? I was just like, oh, that's crazy.
However, Terence Crawford intensified the feud by expressing clear disdain for Gervonta Davis, stating that if their confrontation ever happened on the street, he would break Davis. This comment further fueled the animosity between the two, shifting their rivalry.
If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your neck.
You know, when you look at all the great fighters, they was getting called out by everybody from different weight classes. So it's nothing, that I'm not surprised about.
A tank would be something that, he said he'll touch your chin and.
Man, everybody say, what they'll do, but Tank is in his weight class for a reason, and I don't see him come up to 147 to face me no time soon.
Further reinforcing his stance, Gervonta continued to cast doubt on Crawford's spotless run, expressing surprise that the undefeated star has managed to go unscathed while moving through multiple weight divisions. While acknowledging Crawford's skill, Davis pointed to past moments, like getting caught by Yuriorkis Gamboa, as a reason to question how Crawford has remained untouched in recent years.
This guy is great at what he do. And another thing, bro, I don't be wanting to, how these guys is, then he get hurt against,
Madrimov?
Who?
Yeah, you talk about Crawford got touched by Madrimov? Is that what you
No,
said?
he got clipped by Gamboa, right?
Yeah.
Right? He's looking this strong over the past year, these years. He ain't been getting clipped or nothing. So now, that's that snack shit. I'm telling you. Y'all laugh. I'm telling you. And that guy that a part of it, he been caught before. He went to jail for it.
As the banter continues to escalate, Terence Crawford fired back at Gervonta Davis, making it clear that he isn't big on him either. While acknowledging Davis as a skilled fighter, Crawford criticized his demeanor, describing him as arrogant and difficult to tolerate. He admitted that something about Davis's personality simply doesn't sit right with him, underscoring the personal friction brewing between two of boxing's biggest names.
Around that time, is that just you being competitive, like when that happens, or is it like?
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like I really don't like him. That's like
just not your cup of tea. That's just not your.
Yeah, I don't like nothing about him. I just felt like he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that. But in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his ways.
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that's moving up 2 weight classes and daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin. So tell him to come and touch it.
Wow, man. Gervonta said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147 for him.
Ooh, see, oh, man. You're going to have a pre-camp.
Things escalated even further when Crawford made a startling declaration about throwing some sharp shots about Tank's recent fight with Lamont Roach. He called out Davis for pulling stunts in the ring, pointing to the moment he took a knee. Furthermore, Crawford said that even without that knockdown, Davis still came up short and didn't do enough to beat Lamont Roach.
And Steve Willis is a great referee.
He is.
And he started counting, then stopped it. Like, they said, hey, you better stop counting.
Wow.
Hey, don't do that again.
You, being a boxing aficionado, you think Gervonta won that fight?
No. I don't think he won without the knockdown. I thought it was a close fight, but I would have gave the edge to Roach. He fought a great fight. Gervonta fought a great fight as well, but I just think he was overconfident.
Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez weighed in on the highly anticipated clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, offering his prediction for the outcome. While acknowledging the elite talent both fighters bring to the table, Lopez stated that he's backing Canelo to emerge victorious. He praised the matchup as a high-level showdown, but ultimately declared his support for the Mexican superstar.
I still say Canelo.
I got Canelo too.
I still say Canelo. Ring IQ, I believe that Crawford has a bit more.
Yep.
However, it's just the size difference. I think that where Crawford is lacking is that he should try test the waters even with somebody at that weight class before facing Canelo. But hey, they say he's a dog. He's got shot in the head and drove to the hospital, so maybe that's just his mentality.
Hey, let's see. Only one way to find out until that day comes.
It's the only way, but I definitely think that it's a great fight overall. Black and brown is how you get down.
That's right. That's right.
Similarly, Sean Porter weighed in on the buzz surrounding Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, stating that the bout stands as one of the top matchups in all of boxing. He emphasized the significance of the clash, noting that it represents a major event not just for the fighters involved, but for the sport as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing beyond that. I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another, you know what I mean?
However, veteran commentator Jim Lampley added further insight by noting that it's no surprise Canelo Alvarez has taken a page from Floyd Mayweather's book, especially when it comes to longevity in the sport. According to Lampley, Canelo has learned from Floyd and has smartly employed those lessons to extend and preserve his career. While Canelo still knows how to deliver fireworks when the moment demands it, Lampley emphasized that at his core, Canelo is a masterful counterpuncher and a brilliant defensive technician.
So no, it's not surprising that Canelo learned from Floyd and has employed some of that in the retention of his career. Canelo still knows how to make fireworks when he absolutely has to make fireworks. But at the end of the day, he's a counterpuncher. He's a great defender. He has the most solid punch resistance of anybody in the sport. Nobody's ever knocked him off balance. Nobody's ever really knocked him down. There's only one official knockdown in his career, and it was because he bounced off the ropes when Jose Cotto hit him with a hard shot to the chest.
Taking a more analytical approach, Andre Ward shared his perspective on the upcoming showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, expressing strong belief in Crawford's skill set. While acknowledging the difficulty of the fight, Ward revealed he's backing Crawford, citing the challenge of the significant weight jump. He stated that until someone proves they can break Crawford's confidence or outmatch his ability to respond with equal or greater firepower, he's standing by the undefeated former undisputed champion.
I'm going with Terence Crawford, you know. Big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Adding a dose of realism to the discussion, Danny Garcia weighed in on the high-stakes clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, recognizing Crawford's impressive run since 2012. They emphasized that Crawford deserves full credit for his accomplishments and championship mentality, especially for daring to move up in weight. However, Garcia ultimately predicted that the challenge may be too steep, stating that Canelo's power, size, and experience at higher weight classes could prove overwhelming for Crawford.
Crawford has been active, and he's been a champion his whole career. You know, that's something you got to give Crawford for. You got to give Crawford his flowers. He's really been a champion since 2012. You know, has never not been a champion. So he has the champion's mindset. He is going up to 168, so that's a steep hill to climb. You know. I mean, he has the tools, but I think Canelo's gonna. My personal opinion, I think Canelo's gonna be too much for him.
Building on that, Keith Thurman also shared his thoughts on Canelo Alvarez, acknowledging the Mexican star's toughness in the ring. While he emphasized that Alvarez is a difficult opponent for anyone, he made it clear that the undisputed super middleweight champion is not invincible.
The thing about Canelo Alvarez is extremely hard to beat, but he's not unbeatable. Canelo Alvarez is extremely hard to beat, but he's not unbeatable. We've seen him take some losses. We saw the first Golovkin fight where a lot of people didn't feel like he pulled it out. I wish Golovkin would have just thrown a little bit more body shots, did a little bit more, because I felt like the fight was his. If he would have done a little bit more, it really would have been his. So not only is he putting on a lot of weight, which is going to be a challenge in itself for any athlete to move around athletically, you know, it's like you want to be lean, you want to have that agility, you know, but now you're holding on to extra weight and you got to move around. It's like putting on a body vest, and now you're boxing with an extra body vest on, you know? So I always worry about fighters moving up in weight because I just think it's going to slow them down on some level.
Meanwhile, Roy Jones Jr. weighed in on the showdown, dismissing weight as the key determinant. Instead, Jones believes the outcome will depend on Canelo's approach. According to him, Canelo will win if Canelo executes the right game plan. However, if he strays from what he should do in the ring, Crawford has the skills to capitalize and secure victory.
Well, the weight won't be the factor. The factor will be how Canelo chooses to make the fight. Canelo comes out and does what Canelo should do, Canelo wins the fight. If Canelo comes out and does what he shouldn't do, Crawford wins the fight. Control the center of the ring. If Crawford is allowed to control the center, he'll win.
Supporting Crawford's chances, Shakur Stevenson expressed confidence in Terence Crawford's ability to defeat Canelo Alvarez, emphasizing that Crawford's skill set is perfectly suited for a tactical masterclass. Stevenson pointed out that if Crawford sticks to his strengths, he stated that Crawford could neutralize Canelo's power and potentially make it a surprisingly easy night.
If they do fight, I told you I think that Bud outboxes him. I think he's going to use his leg, keep Canelo on the outside and make it an easy night.
Got you. Now, you know, Bud, Tank, what were your thoughts on the whole, like, back and forth with Bud and Tank? Any thoughts at all, especially because it got really personal?
See, that's another thing. I try not to get into nobody else's stuff, but like I said, Bud my brother, so I'm backing him with whatever. But I don't get into the back and forth or the internet arguing or the typing back and forth on. That shit don't really matter.
Got you.
Backing that sentiment, Mikey Garcia weighed in on the matchup, emphasizing the significant gap in weight classes. While he acknowledged Crawford as the most skilled fighter he has seen today, he pointed out that Alvarez is firmly established at 168 pounds, whereas Crawford only recently moved up to 154 and showed some struggles in that transition.
Too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Canelo's gonna come down to 160. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154.
However, Canelo Alvarez sees a potential fight with Terence Crawford as a significant addition to his legacy. He acknowledged Crawford's accomplishments in the sport and suggested that facing such a highly skilled and decorated opponent would only enhance his resume.
Do I have to ask about Terence Crawford? Do you think it'll add to your legacy, the fight with Crawford?
Yeah, he's a really good fighter. 2 times undisputed champion. He accomplished so much, so can add a lot to my career.
Not everyone is buying into the legacy narrative. Jose Benavidez didn't hold back his frustration over Canelo Alvarez's continued ability to handpick opponents. Outraged by what he sees as leniency from boxing organizations, Benavidez Sr. claimed that Canelo will keep cherry-picking softer opposition as long as it's allowed, because it's easy money. He called Canelo's upcoming bout with Terence Crawford another walk in the park.
What the f*** you have accomplished, I mean, there we go again, Who is Skull? I didn't even know who Skull was, Now I read about him, I watched him a little bit, he's a good fighter. Terence Crawford, come on, he looked really bad in his last fight. He's going up 2 divisions, it's, come on, bro, it's like we try to go up and fight Usyk at heavyweight, Come on, David's not ready to do that yet, so I don't think Crawford's ready to do that either, I see a easy 2 fights for him, and that's what they want. The people allowed that, the organizations allowed that, so he's going to continue doing that. Why not?
In addition, Ade Oladipo pointed out that Terence Crawford at 38 years old is now focused solely on Canelo Alvarez. He highlighted the significance of the matchup, noting that Crawford is currently ranked number 1 or 2 pound for pound, while Canelo sits at number 6. Oladipo suggested that, given the rankings, this is a fight that could realistically happen.
And Crawford only wants Canelo. Crawford's 38.
Yeah.
You've got potentially number 1, number 2 pound for pound versus what's Canelo, number 6. It's a fight that I think could happen. It's a fight in Vegas. The Raiders Stadium has been spoken about, which is 65,000. I'd be so upset if that fight's not.
Lastly, Luke Thomas added technical depth to the conversation. While he acknowledged that Crawford is the more skilled boxer, he highlighted the physical challenge ahead. According to Thomas, Crawford's toughest test will be dealing with Canelo's power and size, which could be game-changing.
Turkey was obviously releasing bullshit to put pressure on the guys, and they reported it, and it turned out to be completely bullshit and not time. But I think Crawford is better than Canelo. It's just a question of, is the size enough to overcome it?
Whether you're Team Canelo, Team Bud, or just here for the chaos, one thing's clear, this fight has the whole game talking. Who do you think takes it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on the biggest fights in boxing.